Minnesota State High School Baseball Coaches Association. My name is Don Gawreluk. I am the Assistant Executive Director of the association. I also run the All-Star Series and take care of the rankings. And with us, we have Mark Downey, who was past coach at Mounds View High School and other places, along with Paul Twenge, who's current head coach at Minnetonka High School. So welcome, guys. We're going to talk about this fantastic clinic that we have going on. Mark, give me the shortened version of this thing. It's pretty amazing what's been able to be pulled together in the last year.
Sure. Well, historically, as we all know, the Twins have been tremendous supporters of high school baseball in our state. They demonstrated significant commitment with things like hosting our championship series for all four classes at Target Field. And through discussions after the 2021 clinic we had with them, we both kind of came to the conclusion that this was a great fit, and there were significant benefits for the Twins to partner with us on this clinic, and significant benefits for our association on behalf of our coaches to partner with them on it. So we're very excited about it. We're moving the clinic from October, November timeframe to January this year. For many years, it was held the end of October, and it was great. But one of the things that was challenging was that a lot of our high school baseball coaches also coach football, and the end of October coincides with the beginning of the high school football playoffs. So many of those guys were unable to break away and attend the clinic. So in 2021, we moved it a little bit further back into November, which also was great, except that, as we all know, deer hunting in the state of Minnesota is a significant tradition, and that impacted a lot of people's ability to attend. So survey results after the 2021 clinic indicated that the best alternative would be to move it into the next year, which would free up a lot of the coaches that were unable to attend in the past, as well as it's a little bit closer to the season and serves as a kind of a kickoff to the new season.
You've had a lot of meetings, Mark. There's a lot of work that's gone into this. You want to talk about that a little bit or no?
There's a lot of people on the board and others that have contributed significantly. Shout out to all those guys, but and then also especially at the Twins, Chelsea Falzone has been a workhorse and a great leader in helping make this happen and pull together. So kudos to everybody.
Paul, you've been instrumental in bringing in some fantastic speakers. You want to talk about those speakers and what topics or clinicians really excite you and get the blood pumping?
Well, I love the fact that we have baseball people talking to baseball people. That's what clinics are about. And for me personally, I want to go to a clinic, and you guys are the same way. I know this from knowing you personally. You will take home something that's applicable to your program as a coach. We have Brian Green from Washington. We have Danny Fitzgerald, homegrown Minnesota guy, now head dude at KU, Kansas University. He's going to do a fine job. We also have a local in Bill Kennanen talking to us about catching. Ed Service is coming back. Ed Service, if you haven't seen him, or if you have seen him, he's still going to be good. He's a tactician. He's got every square inch of that baseball field covered, and he knows how to explain it to you. I'm extremely excited to have Steve Smith. Steve Smith, for me, goes way back to my college time. And Steve was the head coach at Baylor, took his team to the World Series, took them to numerous collegiate regionals, super regional, and now he is the minor league pitching coordinator for the Tigers. And I think I need to explain this, the way I look at baseball and the way hopefully we can present as speakers. I see professional baseball as a honey crisp apple, and we're low hanging red apple, but we are apples. So everything that's going on with them can go on with our athletes. In fact, the sooner we teach them, the better they become at the sport they want to learn more about. You will learn from this. These people are very good. I've heard them speak before, and I believe both of you have. They will dot the I's and cross the T's, and they'll make it applicable to youth programs and high school programs. They know all of them have gotten their jobs and their future careers and the career they have now through the hard work of high school baseball coaches?
I guess number one, Paul Twenge does an unbelievable job. He has unbelievable relationships in the United States with across the world, actually, with baseball coaches. And you look at other clinics around the country that are held, actually many of them on the same weekend, and they got nothing on us. We are top notch. And so that's kudos to Paul. The other thing, with our partnership with the Twins, we're able to tap into some of their resources, including Executive Derek Falvey, who's going to speak about leadership and on teams and et cetera. So excited about that as well.
Coach Brian Robbie will also be there too, who's a clinician with the youth clinics as well.
Yeah. I just want to say, I think this is like a championship move, the merger of our organization and the Twins. You pointed out, Mark, and Don, you've been very involved in that end of it myself, or with this, myself recognizing it. I've been in other states where the professional aspects don't get as close to youth organizations and high school organizations like the Twins. They know where their bread is buttered, and it's by us. And the fact that they've invited us into their facility and to provide some of their expertise, to take one of the top administrative personnel that they have, and Derek Felvey, they're committed to us. And I see this, when you sought this out, Don, as much as I'm thinking the other way and fighting it to go someplace else and stay separate, I think this is a good marriage at this time. And hopefully we don't end up in a divorce 20 years from now. No?
Well, come on. We're in a great situation. We're very fortunate. And I think we both help one another out. As we're talking about Target Field and the Minnesota Twins, Mark, what can attendees expect on January 13th and 14th, just coming up soon?
Sure. As we all know, the Twins are first class, MLB baseball club. Everything they do is top notch. And they're helping us with a lot of the logistics and handling of the clinic at Target Field. So I think people will appreciate that aspect. As far as the venue, it's extremely large. We have access to both the Puckett and the Carew atriums, as well as truly on deck there. So we've got a ton of space to provide a lot of opportunity. And just for me, as I was thinking about this and planning for it, if you're in a hotel ballroom listening to a speaker and you're sitting in a chair and to the side of you is a white wall, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's great. It's all about the speaker and the content, obviously. But at Target Field, you're going to be sitting as an attendee, and to your left or whatever will be, Kirby Puckett's Silver Slugger Award, and the entire environment is just oozing with baseball, and it's just a wonderful environment to be sitting in and conduct the clinic.
Just adding to that, Mark, as you talk about the souvenirs, or not souvenirs, that's the wrong way the artifacts, the baseball memorabilia, there's a direct connection with this clinic with that. And people being able to have it maybe an up close or a little bit more background about some of those items.
Yeah, Clyde Deppner, who's the curator of a lot of the Twins artifacts, is going to be part of a luncheon event on Saturday. And, he's very passionate about it, and he has a lot of really interesting and fun stuff. So that's exciting too.
Oh, you got a call.
Yeah, I'll have to call him back.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you call him back. Whoever it was, I'm sure it was incredibly important. But Paul,
yeah, real important.
You always
told me I was supposed to tell him a joke. That's exactly what it's about.
Well, let's keep this family friendly here. But it's as you've been so deep into helping clinics roll out great schedules and clinicians and such. You're bringing your staff down there as a head coach. And bringing your staff down there, what advantages does that give a program to be able to be together for a couple days and just talking baseball, listening to great speakers?
Well, I think it's fiduciary to anybody that coaches any sport, any place, to try to increase their intelligence, their knowledge, or awareness of the sport they're involved in, and this merger between youth and high school, I think, becomes self-evident, and that's why I bring the staff. The staff is always going to learn something. They're going to say it a little bit different than I, but we can also get to a commonality about what we're trying to get out of a particular speaker and what they're presenting. But I think what's more important is I want the staff to realize just how important their job is. You're taking the youth of America in the sport of baseball. That person you should never say it to them, but may want to be the next Joe Mauer or the Kirby Puckett or a Byron Buxton. Their talent's quite not going to get there, but you have to elevate them to the next coach so they do become a little bit better, and eventually reality will set in, but you never blow that flame out. Well, the only way you can enhance that is you have to increase your knowledge of the game. Even though you played college baseball and you played it all the way through high school and summer and everything else, and you go to see professional games, you need to know how to present information at the youngest level, at the highest degree of proficiency and intelligence. And the kid will love it. The athlete will love it. And the parents, even though you might have been a youth coach that's been thrown into the fire, the parents are giving you their most valuable commodity, their child, who has dreams of being the best ever. And your job is to enhance that to the best of your ability, which means you're going to draw on what you had as a player yourself or your involvement with baseball, but you can get a deeper bag of tricks, so to speak, if you attend a clinic. This clinic presents that. It's unbelievable what the Twins are providing for us. And I do believe the speakers we're bringing in and the coordination that we're doing with them is unbelievable. That's why I bring our staff to learn. And even though the majority of our staff are not employed by the school district other than baseball coaches, and this is an avocation, not their vocation, at least they're learning about their avocation.
Well, I always take a different perspective, and sorry to interrupt, but
that's all right.
I'm an assistant coach at Anoka High School, and our staff, I always encourage our staff to go if possible, because I know just from having been a head coach and also being an assistant, how important it is to, and I'm also an elementary teacher, that the players we coach, 9th grade, 10th grade, however many years we're going to have them, are going to end up being youth coaches at some point. They're probably going to have kids. They're probably going to affect upper Midwest baseball or wherever it is they go, and they can spread the enthusiasm of the game, the joy, what the game can do for you personally. And then also it's just that idea of meeting different kinds of needs and learners, and you just never know who you come in contact with as a coach that 10, 20, 30 years down the line might end up coaching a group of kids, and you hope that you had a good influence on that, because guarantee it, you will have had one.
Oh, you're spot on. I mean, that's, I'll just throw this in there, that it's spot on, because when you go to other conventions, like all of us are going to go to a national convention. We're either going to go to the National High School Baseball Coaches Association, or we're going to go to the American Baseball Coaches Association, or we may go to both. In there will be at least one speaker that will tell you the value of the coach and the involvement or the influence you will have on the athlete. That's a huge responsibility that should be at least aware to you, not something that you have to constantly bring up. But those kids are looking at you as the best thing since monogram Yankees, crushed ice, and sliced bread. You better live up to it. You better, if they want crunchy peanut butter, you better be crunchy peanut butter. You know what I mean? You got to do it for them, and you got to bring that energy. And more importantly, you love the game. Let everybody see it. Don't be afraid. Show these kids how much fun it can be. That's important.
We've all been to clinics over the 20, 30, 40 years we've been coaching. We've all been to clinics, and you always bring something back. You always develop and foster relationships. There's always that nugget you can use to impact the kid that you don't know in what way you may have done it. Hey, Mark.
And just add one more thing. And all the great information you get at a clinic, and I've gotten tons of it at every clinic and every session I've ever attended. This is our fraternity. These are my fraternity brothers, so to speak, my fellow coaches. They're the only guys in the world that can really, truly, deeply understand the challenges and the frustrations and the lows and the highs that we experience as a coach. And it helps for me anyway. It really helps recharge me and charge me up for doing what we do in the significant roles being a coach. So I've really benefited from all those relationships as well.
Amen to that. Mark, let's get back to some nuts and bolts of the clinic. You want to talk about hotel or lodging opportunities and just what an attendee can expect in terms of parking or other opportunities with FCA breakfast and banquet awards, things like that. When they register, what types of things await?
Sure. There's an email that all the coaches are going to get probably within the next 24 to 48 hours with a lot more information. And we'll follow up after that with even more information. But just a couple quick things. We have 2 partner hotels with the Twins here, the Lowe's Hotel and the Element Hotel, with discounted rates for those that want or need a hotel for the clinic. Parking is available in ramp A, which is adjacent right next to Target Field, and you'll be able to walk right into Target Field and register right from from ramp A there. We have a lot of things like the FCA breakfast on Saturday morning. Again, information will be emailed to all coaches about that. On Saturday night, as always, we've got the Hall of Fame and Awards banquet, which will be held at Target Field in the Carew Atrium there, which is where the Twins used to hold their Diamond Awards banquet. So it's extremely nice, and once again, just a wonderful venue for a baseball banquet. So again, lots of information to follow, but maybe that's some of the nuts and bolts.
Paul, we have some great sponsors, and one of which, Kilbrew Root Beer, you brought on board. Congratulations on that. Talk about some of the support that we've written, Paul.
I am so thankful that you have that on there. Kilbrew Root Beer, I'll stay on that one. They're brand new to us. Jim Lundeen is the CEO of that particular company. Of course, you see that product at Target Field. Well, Jim is a true baseball man. He has been for many, many years, and he has chosen to back the Minnesota State High School League for baseball, and our Minnesota State High School Baseball Coaches Association, I should say. And we'll explain more about what he's done. He's already given a donation to help us do what we're doing right now, present clinics, the all-star situation, the junior showcase. All this takes time, money, and effort. And we have people that want to step up because they believe in us as coaches and they believe in high school baseball. We have what is called Dynamic Sports, which is Team One.
Game one.
Team One, which is a little bit of a name change. Of course, we have the Steady Eddie for me and a great person when we have Cambria and Marty Davis, who supports everything and anything in the state of Minnesota, big baseball person. So we have those people that help us to build up, I guess, our war chest, because the monies that we use here, besides what I've already explained, go on to athletes that leave us after their senior year. We put money out to coaches that have went through periods of strife in their life, losing a house to a fire or whatever the case may be. We got a lot of people that are helping us. We have a good product. It's up to us to help the coaches continue to produce the product that we're seeing. Our athletes are going all over. You better understand this right now. Minnesota is a small gold mine. One reason why Brian Green wanted to come here from Washington State is we have an athlete from Minnesota going out there, and his response was, we're going to recruit the state. There's just not that many people looking at it. And I don't want to get too far outside the scope, because I do believe we should honor the programs that are within our state. But we have people like Kilbrew Root Beer and the others I pointed out that want to get more involved with us. We have exhibitors that'll be there that seem to be increasing. I don't know if this is the time to talk about the plan with college coaches and high school coaches, Don?
We can talk about that, but before you get too far, if there is anyone out there that is that's aware of a person who'd like to be an exhibitor at our clinic, they can contact our Vice President Dean Schwartz, or any one of us from the MSHSBCA.org website, which is a portion of what's behind me. And also big thanks again to folks from the Minnesota Twins like Dave St. Peter and Chelsea Falzone and Kobe, who's been a big part of things. Jim Lundeen, like you had mentioned, along with Andy Long and Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget those guys. But talk really briefly about this great idea that you have with the colleges, Paul, because this is something that's, I think, a real exciting connection possibility between high school and the next level.
This really goes back to the time when I was at Valparaiso University and the Minnesota State or the Indiana State High School Baseball Coach Association, where I have their clinic. They would invite colleges and universities to have a booth/table to present any information to the high school coaches throughout the state about their program. For example, I can remember a couple of different times Indiana University and Indiana State were going through facility adjustments. They brought artist renderings. They brought even little architectural plastic designs of what was going to happen to them. But it also gave other universities that weren't at the Division I level a chance to meet other coaches in the state and also let them know just exactly how well coached their program is. The addendum to this is we're going to present the opportunity for the membership or the coaches that are in Minnesota in high school to put a prospect list together, so to speak. Those that are still graduating yet this year that are available and would like to play college baseball, but your future stars, your 2024, your 2023, and maybe your 2026. And bring those names on a contact sheet, and we'll leave those individual announcements out for coaches from colleges that are attending to pick up recruiting information. I think this is good from the standpoint it shows the high school coach is trying to promote the player to the next level, and it cuts down on all the effort that some of these coaches have to go through. Even though we have so much video on kids, baseball is a game where you still want to see them play. You want to see physically what they look like. This isn't like golf or track. Track, they run a 100 meters in 10.2. Well, you know they're good. Or in golf, they shot a 62 on a par 70, and the course difficulty was X, Y, or Z. They know that that's a good golfer because of that score, and they know that that's a runner because of that time. Baseball, you can't quite do that. Guy's hitting 15 home runs in 20 games. Well, no matter who he's playing against, the guy must have some power, but you still want to see him. And we're trying to shorten that path for college coaches to get that information. And we're trying to help the college coaches to promote their programs. And if they're coming from institutions that are private, their admissions department will see this as an extension of what they're trying to do, and should be there to aid them in putting a table together. And the price on the table will be reasonable. We're not going to gouge you. We want you there, and we want to keep helping the people within this state, our athletes, to go forward. And we want our programs that are collegiately based here, as well as maybe the surrounding area, but we're focusing on Minnesota, to stay healthy, wealthy, and filled with players.
Sounds like a win-win. And when you start talking about high school players being promoted, bringing in colleges from the area with the High School Baseball Coaches Association as the conduit. Really,
hopefully it works. We'll send out. We're going to be sending out information through probably the grand poobah of emails, Tink Larson, to the college coaches explaining what this is about, and then doing the same, sending this email out to the high school coaches that are in the state of Minnesota that are members, and how they should get that information. Because being part of our organization gives you an advantage more than just one or two different ways. We want to continue to amplify what those advantages are, which is probably what you should talk about a little bit when you get to the state playoffs, and just what was done this year and how many people were already jumping forward and wanting to help us make sure that we get our tournament in on the dates we had. I don't know if that's been out.
Which we can talk about in another session. So, but hey, I was just going to talk about membership. I just got my lifetime membership, so I'm excited about that. And I know that now's the time, folks. It covers your liability insurance, allows you to attend our clinic at a discounted rate, and just so many opportunities with the Coaches Association, from being able to nominate your players for awards or be eligible for coaching achievements and awards at the end of seasons. So, guys, I really thank you for the time, and I just was going to ask one more thing. What did I miss? Anything else that we can bring up for the good of the order?
You've been very thorough, Don. The only thing I would add is, we've recognized a lot of people in the relationship with the Minnesota Twins, and Don Gawreluk, who's leading this, has been at the forefront of that. So, I want to recognize that.
Thank you, Paul. Last words.
I just see this as a coach at any school that's doing baseball in this state and maybe in the surrounding states. You should go to a clinic, and this clinic will be good.
And I would just wrap with this. If you're a coach who's been around for a few years, and in your conference you have some newer coaches, invite them to follow along and get on the email distribution list that Tink has created, and share the knowledge, because we've all been there. It's tough when you're starting as a new coach, and we all want to take on that role of helping folks out. We might compete on the field, but like I was mentioned earlier, it feels like a fraternity or a brotherhood of good friends that just to get together yearly, and it has that family feel to it. So, gentlemen, I thank you. And next time when we get together on this podcast, we're going to be looking at how to register, what that looks like in terms of the website and the buttons that you're going to click. We don't want anyone feeling like technology is going to be a stumbling block for them. So thanks, fellas. And we will talk to you soon, and see you January 13th and 14th of 2023 at our Minnesota Twins MSHSBCA annual clinic.